You have so many shoes thrown at you each day. How are you supposed to choose the right ones to wear? There's different types of shoes that you can choose no matter what store you go into. Today, we're here at On the Run store in Clear Lake, and they've been gracious enough to let us borrow a few shoes to demonstrate for you the different types of shoes that you might choose for running. So first thing to consider is how flexible is the arch of your shoe? I'm sure we've all heard of flat feet, high arches. How are we supposed to support our feet whenever we've got those anomalies? Well, the thoughts have changed over the years, but right now we all are aiming more towards neutral and the best support for your feet. So something to consider is grabbing a shoe and trying to bend it at the arch, okay? Notice that this shoe's pretty tough to get any kind of motion at the center arch area. So this is a pretty rigid shoe, probably meant for someone who needs a lot of arch support. Maybe you've been told you have flat feet, and no matter what you do, strengthening or otherwise, you just can't get those arches higher. You might need this kind of shoe. If you instead have a high arch already, we want to fill the gap of the arch so that your muscles don't feel like they have to work so hard and can instead rest on the cushion that's been built up in the shoe. So if you have a high rigid arch that just can't be mobile and move, you may need a shoe like this, where if you bend the arch, notice how much easier I can bend that arch of this shoe. So this is a soft, cushy shoe. Lastly, if you're somewhere in the middle and you don't have a flat foot that won't get a larger arch, and you don't have an arch that won't get more mobile, you might need to look at more of a neutral shoe. And like I said, this is what most podiatrists or most physical therapists are telling you to wear these days, is more neutral shoes, because we don't want an arch to push you up too high and then you're rolling your ankle out. We also don't want a arch that's so rigid that then people are complaining of plantar fasciitis developing because of the pressure that that hard arch is putting on their foot. So this kind of shoe, if you sit there and you do that test of bending, you'll see it does bend more than the rigid one, but maybe not quite as much as the soft cushion one. So this is an easy test you can do with any shoe in any store. I'm going to show you another test you can do with all of them as well. So another test you can do with any shoe in any store is put the shoe on and then weight shift all of your weight onto that one foot. Notice, what does that do to your ankle? Does it feel like your foot caves in? Does it feel like the shoe is pushing your ankle out? Or does it feel like you can glide straight through as you take a step with the shoe? As you can see with this one, my ankle kind of rolls in, so I'd probably want something with a little bit more arch support for me. Same test, different shoe. I put the shoe on one foot, same foot as I did before. You want to keep the experiment equal. And then I'm going to weight shift onto that foot. And as you can see, my foot is being guided to roll towards the outside as I do that. So I probably want a shoe with less cushion for me and my individual needs. Last type of shoe that I'm testing is that neutral shoe. So I'm going to put it on the same foot. I'm going to weight shift onto my foot. And as you can see, my ankle isn't rolling out, and it's also not rolling in like it did with the first shoe. So I'd probably go with a neutral shoe for myself. If you have trouble choosing the right shoe for you for running or everyday purposes, try these tests that I showed in this video. And if that's still kind of confusing you, drop a comment below or message me directly. I'd love to help you on a more personal level.